Hey there, welcome to today's Health Bite. I'm Monique Bradley, and in the studio I've got, as always, registered naturopath from My Remedy. This is Lynette Hill. Hi Lynette, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks Monique. Hi
Good
everyone.
stuff. Right, a big topic. Oh, I've switched my sound down. A really big topic. I posted about the fact on My Remedy that we were going to be talking about high blood pressure in particular, and that really is the topic for tonight. And there was quite a bit of interest in it. Is it quite common? Is it something you're seeing in your clinic all the time?
It's very common, and most people, particularly 50s and up, either have it, one or the other, and a couple will have it. So it's pretty common.
Yeah. Well, one of the things we need to let you know right from the get-go is that we can't diagnose any disease or anything while we're live. That's not something you can do as a naturopath anyway.
No, I don't diagnose disease.
Absolutely. So we can't make any health recommendations, but what we will talk about tonight are some of the signs and symptoms to look out for, and some of the things you can do to either help yourself or to find out the professional information you need to know about dealing with your high blood pressure, some tips and tricks on how to transform your health. So first of all, I want to find out from you, Lynette. Here's the first question for the night. What are the symptoms of high blood pressure? Now, you've had experience with this firsthand.
I have high blood pressure, and my blood pressure went dangerously high all of a sudden. It was actually following an illness when they discovered that I have a genetic predisposition to high blood pressure, and it went right over 200 and right over 100. So that was my first sign that I had high blood pressure, and I had a very, very, very sore arm. And I can't remember about my jaw, but I did go through a list, and my son immediately rang the ambulance because it was pretty
serious.
Yeah, and that was my first indication, because up until that point I'd had low blood pressure, so I wasn't even looking out for it.
Wow. So normal symptoms. So my understanding is that blood hypertension or high blood pressure is sometimes known as a silent killer or a silent disease because of the sheer fact that often these signs people brush off as being normal. You know, the headaches, the nausea, the brain fog. Yeah. We might think often that they're part of other conditions, but when you're getting the jaw pain, the pain in the nape of the neck, the arm pain, that's when people should start to pay a little bit of attention. That's
really serious. When you've got those pains where your body is tightening up and in agony, don't worry if it's an overreaction. You know, call the ambulance, call the hospital, get someone to take you into hospital. And if it's not that's fine. You can go home. You know, but it is very, very dangerous. Most people's first indication is having a heart attack or a stroke, and you know that's really seriously too late.
It absolutely is. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things you can do to reduce your risks of having high blood pressure. Now, even if you're on medication, some of the things that we're going to show you, which are practitioner-only supplements that you can take to add to your daily diet, or some of the tips and tricks, none of this should interfere too much with medication?
Some of them do, but so that's why you need to be guided by a naturopath or a medical herbalist. So they may support the medication, but they shouldn't interfere with it in a negative way.
And there on the screen, we've got some of the key tips that people need to remember. So lowering the amount of sodium in their diet is going to help.
That absolutely. I mean, sodium regulates hydration. Right. So too much of it is going to cause high blood pressure because you're going to become dehydrated. And also there's the issues around hardened arteries. But equally, not enough sodium means that you can't actually absorb some of those minerals and nutrients that you need to push fluids around your body. So getting the salt right is really important.
Now, one of the tips here, eat lean and green. So one of the things I've definitely learned in my journey, I had very high blood pressure, was adding more plant into my diet, and also eating leaner cuts of meat has been really important because, of course, cholesterol is part of this journey as well, Lynette.
That's right, and high cholesterol is just another lipid or another fat that's going to thicken up that blood. But the greens are also, you know, you've got your folates in there, you've got your magnesium, potassium, calcium. Those are all minerals that we need to regulate our blood pressure. So greens are really important, and also they're antioxidant. They've got everything that we need. So there should be, there are so many reasons to eat them.
I totally agree. So adding more plants, Adding in occasionally a few whole grains in there as well, better cuts of protein, or if you're vegetarian, adding in your legumes where you can, making sure that's balanced up with some nuts and seeds, so you're still creating a complex protein in your diet there, always very important. I know one man who actually removed red meat from his diet altogether because that was really affecting his blood pressure. And finally there, getting moving is super important, because of course our hearts are pumping that blood around the body, doing a little bit of goodness in the body. And what's actually happening in that process when our blood's moving more?
Well, we're increasing oxygen, we're increasing circulation. So instead of just our heart just physically actively pumping things around, our movement is also helping our blood to flow around, and you're keeping your muscles healthy.
So true. One of the things that's helped me reduce my blood pressure, so I had extremely high blood pressure and was really shocked last year when I had it taken, and it was better than perfect. I didn't think that was possible. The key change that I made was changing my diet and moving more.
I think if that's all you do, and I would always add in water.
That's right. We're going to come up to that too.
Fluid.
Yes.
If you go from a very processed diet to a more whole food diet, and that's not anything radical, it's just eat your vegetables, eat your fruit. You know, make sure that what you are eating you can actually recognise as food.
Right.
Lower the salt, and just walk for 20 minutes to half an hour a day. Not only is that physically going to help you, but it's also going to mentally help you. You're going to have more energy and feel better about yourself.
That's right. We're going to come to that point very shortly. Cobus Botha just said, hi, it's nice. It's so nice to hear your voice, my old friend. You're looking amazing.
Cobus, thank you. Hello.
And a big hello to Tracy Marie Huia, who's watching tonight as well. So you've got some bits and pieces here, things that you can buy retail, and you can also get them prescribed by a healthcare professional. Naturopath is a good place to start when you're dealing with your blood pressure issues. Can you talk us through some of these first things before we get on to dealing with stress and water?
Well, Cobus will recognise this. So Cobus used to work with me at My Remedy, and he's a medicinal herbalist. So medicinal herbs are fantastic. So once we've got to know you and understand what your situation is and what your blood pressure is doing and how it's behaving and what medications you are or you're not on, there are some beautiful herbs that we can put together to actively support heart health and hopefully reduce high blood pressure. There's always things like our teas. You know, this one's really lovely. It's an Artemis tea, and tea is a really nice way of gently introducing medicinal herbs into your system without too much. You know, you can usually have your tea alongside medication.
Right, yes, of course.
This is my, I actually have high blood pressure. I'm medicated for it. So I found I wasn't able to just work with herbal tonics for me.
You needed blood something pressure, a little bit more?
Yeah, it was dangerously high. So then I used a really good magnesium compound and some fish oil and some hawthorn just to bring things down a little bit, and it supports my medication.
Right. I was going to say, so none of that messes with medication at all?
No, hawthorn is, for me, it's really important to take it, and I take it at the other end of the day. So it's looking after me in the evenings. But if I don't have my blood pressure medication and I just have this, up it goes. If I just have my medication and I don't do this, up it goes. So it's that lovely combination, and that's what I really love about using allopathic or modern medicine and natural medicine.
Excellent. So things like fish oils, you can find those in your health food shop. Things like this, which are practitioner only, so that's for the heart health there. You do want to talk to your naturopath who can actually steer you in the right direction there. Great product, and you're using that all the time, Lynette.
Oh, I am every day. Love it.
Yep. Now you've got a couple of other things in here. I know we're going to get on to stress very shortly, but you've got a couple of other things here in the middle that that can help with heart health as well.
Absolutely. CoQ10 is a really good cardioprotective oil as a rule. There's very few contraindications with that.
Great.
And I've also just got some products here that we use where cholesterol might be part of the picture. So they might be helping to keep cholesterol levels healthy, or look after the liver and its processing of fats and cholesterol. You know, things like turmeric can even be really beneficial.
Oh, wow. Yes, of course. Yeah. Great for reducing that inflammation in there.
That's right. So we're looking at all the reasons, and that's why I say when you work with your natural health specialist, they're going to find out which way to go. And of course, stress. I mean,
that's right. I was going to say we've got another screen coming up, and this is one of the key contributors to increasing your blood pressure, the effects of stress. So this was one of the things that actually used to raise my blood pressure out of control, having a lot of stress in my life. And for me, I can radically say that doing things like, one of the things that I take, which is practitioner only, that I got from Lynette, is a product called Adrenal. I'm not on any other medication, so I can take this quite happily. This is designed to support my adrenal glands. I suffered from adrenal gland burnout some years ago and never quite recovered. So this has been a really good option to help basically support my adrenals. And when I am feeling a little bit stressed, I know that I can take an extra little dose of this just to support me throughout the day. This has been really wonderful, and it's been amazing since taking that how my blood pressure has really come down. And the other thing that I also take here is this is Chillax. So I've talked about this online so many times. This is a great spray that you've put together, Lynette. This is based on bark flower remedies.
Bark flowers, yeah.
So gentle and natural. So when you're in that space in the day where you are ready to cut somebody because they're driving you crazy, or I shouldn't say that really, but you know, the workmates are driving you crazy, the kids, honestly, you want to leave them on the side of the footpath, you know, wherever you get to, wherever your stress level's at. Something like Chillax is a really lovely natural spray. I use it all the time. Particularly I find going from meeting to meeting, I almost feel like like my blood pressure's starting to go up a little bit from the stress, and that's really just helped calm me down quite a lot. I love that it's a really reasonable price as well.
I know, because otherwise it's just another stress trying to afford all the things.
That's so true.
But stress is such a wonderful part of our everyday life. But if you are living under far too much stress, that is going to have an impact on your blood pressure. So you do need to find a way of dealing with it. And these supplements are fabulous. I mean, this one I can't take because it's got ginseng in it, and that raises my blood pressure. So I have.
You have this one?
That's right, and that's why I'm always saying make sure you talk to your natural health specialist who's going to choose the safe option for you. But dealing with your stress, you know, sometimes you might need to get some counselling or some hypnotherapy, or get out and yell and scream at the ocean, or step back and have a look at what's causing you stress. Because if you don't deal with the stress, then these kind of measures are going to be temporary. So we need to look at the whole person.
Of course. I've got my lovely friend Judy Cranston who's popped on the live stream. Hi Judy, good to see you, and hi Jane. Judy actually she runs a business called Kindy Rock, and she has amazing music for kids, but she also has a CD of affirmations for kids, and just listening to one of her songs, I Am Amazing, it's just quite uplifting. So being able to find that space in the day to, you know, listen to meditation music or listen to a guided meditation, if you can find 5 minutes in your day to listen to something that's going to take you out of that stress mode, spray a bit of your Chillax in your mouth and you're away. You know, or even go and look, if you've got 5 minutes in your day to sit beside the beach in the car in between meetings, speaking from my experience with my blood pressure issues, it works. Find that zen space, and like Lynette said, do address what stress is driving your blood pressure up. It could be family, it could be friends. One of the things Lynette said earlier is to have a friendectomy.
It really helps. If something is consistently putting your blood pressure up, then you might just need to get rid of it.
I totally agree. Now, one of the other things you need to consider when you want to lower your blood pressure, and this is something I learned from Lynette today, in fact, was to include more water into your diet. And I believe we've got a screen coming up about that. Our disclaimer, just a quick reminder that we can't diagnose while we're live tonight, but we're here to talk to you about your options with your health. As always, do consult your health professional, whether it's your doctor, your GP, or of course your natural medicine practitioner, always valuable. So yes, something that can help lower your blood pressure is water. Tell me about how this works, Lynette.
Well, I mean, in our clinic, we use hemiviews. So blood is something that we look at all the time. And if you were to take, say, half a glass of water and pretend that's your blood, probably about 2/3 of that is full of solid things like blood cells, white blood cells, red blood cells, platelets, fats, proteins, fiber, all sorts of stuff is in there. So you imagine that you haven't drunk enough water and you've got the same amount of solids in there, but not the liquid. So your water's gone from
Oh,
very
wow.
easy to push around through those arteries to more thick, like from
Oh, wow.
water to mud.
Yeah.
So that in itself will increase the friction, which is increasing the blood pressure. So you're wanting to keep your blood as thin as possible. So water is a really wonderful way of doing it. And so things like your magnesium and your fish oil, anything that keeps that blood pushing around the body really easily.
Oh, wow. So, of course, too, something to consider, stimulants, getting rid of, lowering your wine intake, lowering all the fun. No, I'm kidding.
It always comes back to that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And what is the first thing you do? Well, I do. Sorry about this, but you know, my disclaimer is I never said I was perfect.
Yeah.
I love coffee and I love a glass of wine. And if I'm stressed, one of the first things you'll often do is think, oh, I'll sit down and have a glass of wine.
So true.
Really, it should be a glass of water and have a chat to somebody and get stuff off your chest, and then you can have a glass of wine with your meal.
So true.
But no, it's not beneficial to have too much alcohol, too much coffee, too much salt, too much fun, too much anything for high blood pressure.
It's so true. Now, if you are concerned, or if you've got family or friends who may be struggling a little bit with their blood pressure, the best thing to do is to get in touch with Lynette and the team at My Remedy. They're there to help you. And whether it's starting off with something like this, or it's actually addressing the triggers of that blood pressure issue, wherever it's going to work, whether it's mind or body, they've got the solution. And they do have a special offer for July. If you get in touch with the clinic, and you can email health@myremedy.co.nz for your first consult there. If you book a consult with any one of their amazing team, whether it's for Hemaview, homeopathy, naturopathy, or whether it is for hypnotherapy, which can also help, you'll receive a $20 discount for the month of July for your first appointment. Just mention Health Bites in your email to redeem that $20 discount. So, final thoughts before we head away tonight, Lynette, because it is just a short health bite tonight. Final thoughts.
My final thoughts would be, if you think you've got a problem, do something about it. So maybe just go and get that blood pressure checked so that you know what you're dealing with. And then if it is a little bit high, go and seek some lifestyle advice from someone like me, or a naturopath or a herbalist. And if there's a cause for concern, we'll certainly get more help for you. But find out what your blood pressure's doing.
I totally agree. And from somebody who has had high blood pressure and is now perfect, don't ignore the symptoms. If you are feeling a bit nauseous, if you're suffering from those tension headaches all the time, if you've got a nausea and dizziness, fogginess, blurred vision, getting a sore shoulder or sore arm for no reason, pains in the neck, pains in the jaw, don't ignore those symptoms. It's not normal, and it could be the sign of something bigger going on. So do consult your healthcare professional as soon as possible. And who knows, it could be as simple as changing your diet, getting more exercise, drinking more water, lowering your salt, or trying some of these natural supplements to support your way to wellness. I'm Monique Bradley. This is Lynette Hill from My Remedy over in Browns Bay in Auckland. Get in touch with the team. And a big thanks to Pete, who's our producer and director, for making these shows happen. Keep well, and we'll see you next week with another Health Bite. Thanks, Lynette.
You're welcome.